Hi guys, welcome to my little production titled Overcoming Repetitive Thoughts and Silencing the Inner Critic, or who I know as the narrator. Now the narrator in me is the voice that I hear that is just it's like a commentator that talks about your daily life. If we're not careful, it can soon go and run into overdrive and fill our imagination in, and we start to put things in place that aren't there. So when you get this repetitive thought that you're not good enough, or you're not able to make these changes, it becomes difficult to get out of. So what I'm about to demonstrate is that it is possible to change your thought processes, but it takes work. The core of what I do is wanting to help people through difficult experiences, removing energy blocks. So on my page, I am a spiritual worker, I'm an energy worker, and what I would describe as a therapeutic medium. So I use my intuition, I use my erratic thought patterns to my advantage. So with most things that come through my head, it usually comes as inspiration when I'm out for a walk. I wanted to make a big production out of this video, but unfortunately for some reason my software wouldn't stream, so we're just working on it raw. So I prepared something that, and it's like with anything, that if you're doing something, don't claim to be an original if it's not your material. So what I've done here is I've took two characters out of my mind, and I've took a bit of a speech from a film called Taken, and I want to show you how a different voice intonation or a different way of thinking and considering things can have an effect on your energy. So I will read the same piece twice, but in different voices. So to do that, and this is where I have to take my glasses off and trust, I'm going to give you this little speech, and then we will work on what the process is of overlaying and reframing. Expensive props here, guys. So getting into character. Changing the mood set. Remember, I'm not a professional actor. I don't know who you are, and I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go, now, that will be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you. So, quick change of costume. And now, I'm going to read it in the style of Zippy from the children's TV programme Rainbow. And just show you the power of that words can have on you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. And if you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you, I will not pursue you, but if you don't, I will look for you, I will find you, and I will kill you. Right, serious head on now. My reason for doing that is to show you how that inner dialogue can be seen. So in the first reading, the idea was to project along a little bit of anger, a little bit of nastiness, a little bit of tension. Whereas if anybody knows what Zippy's about, Zippy's all about humour and talking fast and making people laugh. Now you imagine that you've got a inner narrator in your head that is telling you certain things, and they can be positive or negative. So one of my things over the years is feeling not good enough, a little bit lacking self-awareness, not very confident, feeling like I'm going to fail on things. So there's a lot of information coming in there. So the inner narrator tends to have my voice, right? The inner critic tends to have my voice, that when I attempt to do something, I'm then told that I'm not good enough by my inner narrator. Well, you're going to panic, you're going to worry, you're not going to get past this. Now, this is a neuro-linguistic programming technique that I've borrowed bits off, and I've adapted it to suit my own personality. So, guys, if you're watching this out here and you've got a problem with the inner narrator, the inner critic that is telling you that you're not good enough for something, first of all, I want you to say, stop. Stop. Be quiet to the inner critic. Tell the inner voice there to base that analysis on fact. And it won't be able to do it. It won't be able to come up with anything to prove that you're not good enough. So what I do with clients when I'm using this technique is my inner critic's voice now changes to Zippy, because I've spent many happy hours going backwards and forwards watching Rainbow, and the instant I get that voice in my mind, it just makes me smile. You know, that over-the-top character. So when you've got that repetitive thought inside your head, change that voice, change that inner critic. Use your imagination. We've all got imaginations. It doesn't matter whether you visualize, whether you hear, whether you sense. Change the voice. So overlay that inner critic's voice when it comes in, because if it's your voice, then it's quite easy to change. You imagine the lines that are being read to be in a different voice. Right, so I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Right, stop. Prove it. Well, I can't prove that because there's no evidence. Right, correct. So I'm sat there in my serious voice. I'm sat there in my angry voice. Then I look at what Zippy would deliver that line like. I'm not good enough. And instantly my body chemistry changes. I start to smile. Then what I want to do is then to distract myself. So I come away from the thought. Right, I hit pause. I look around. How we tend to do it when we're doing it live with other people is to give them a simple maths problem. You know, it can be absolutely anything. 5 plus 2 minus 3. And it's 4. Then what we do is say to the person, right, I'm going to count to 3 now. 1, 2, 3, and then a snap of the fingers. Right, you're back in the room. What we've done is broken state of behaviour. So if the technique's worked, and we've got that recurrent thought that keeps going round in there, and we've overlaid that track now with a dubbing, with a new way of putting it, you can then observe from the client how they're now processing that repetitive thought, and I get them to verbalise it. So, I'm not good enough. If the technique has worked correctly, you will now hear that line delivered by the person that makes you smile. And it can be absolutely anybody. It can be your family, it can be a relation, it can be somebody on the TV, it can be somebody that you admired. But the thing is to distract the inner critic. Now, the inner critic is good for certain things because it will protect you from danger, it will warn you about things. But when it becomes the be-all and end-all of it's stunting your progress, then it needs challenging. And it's actually a process called rewiring the neural pathways in the brain. So what actually happens is that the statement is made, it has a beginning, a middle and an end, and then it goes to sleep. Until you come up against something again that challenges. You might be in a position where you're nervous, you might be in a position where you're feeling a little bit worried about something, and then the inner narrator kicks in. Well, you can't do it, you can't do this. Right, so now if you've changed that voice pattern to somebody that makes you laugh, It's anchored in there. Right. So we know that it can't give us any fact, because if it gave us any fact, we would then challenge it and make that a different ending. So it's just a thought, guys, and I don't know how this video will be received, but that's the overlay technique. So it's changing the inner critic's voice to take away the seriousness, to take away the anger, to take away the upset, and put it in a way that gives you upliftment. And this is what this channel's all about, is promoting upliftment for people. I don't know how many people will watch this, but this is as raw as it gets, because what I've done is I've come up here, I attempted to make a production out of it, but my streaming system won't work, so I've gone this way. I really appreciate everybody's support, whether you watch this now or into the future, and just try the technique out and let me know how it goes for you. So just as a repeat there, and just to get that sort of logged into your mind, take the recurring thought. Imagine somebody that makes you smile and laugh. Get their voice into your head and then overlay it onto that recurrent thought. Distract yourself, get up and walk away. Count to 10, whatever it is that you need to do. And when you come back again, think the thought again and see whose voice you've heard it in. And look how your body chemistry changes. So if it's somebody that's uplifting, it should make you laugh and smile, and then give you the energy to make those changes that you need to make. So always remember, stumbling or striding, forward is forward. So I'm trying to develop my catchphrase here as well, guys, and my thoughts are, keep shining and don't sweat the small stuff. Blessings if you've watched this. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.